Welcome. This is the Close the Deal Show. My name is Terrence McCray. I'm your host, and I'm here in Los Angeles, California. I'm at the studio of what?
This is the Good News radio station, man. We are not in my studio, but we in one of the studios I work with often.
And what's the name of that studio?
This is my studio, the Good News radio station.
Okay.
Good News radio station.
I'm speaking with the CEO and founder of Good News Radio here in Los Angeles, California. As you all know, on the Close the Deal Show, we talk about business strategies and we go beyond the Bay Area as well as San Francisco. And today I had the opportunity to not only get an opportunity to sit down and learn from a young entrepreneur, Mr. Keith, Good News Radio, but from a man who came up with an idea and actually, like most of my viewers, put it into effect. So we're going to learn from Keith, the steps, the commitment, the hard work, but most importantly, what it takes to build a business model and to see it flourish into a reality. So please, ladies and gentlemen of the Close the Deal Show, viewers across the Bay and beyond, welcome Good News Radio, Mr. Keith.
That was well said, man.
I appreciate that.
Damn. You should be doing radio. You know what I'm saying? Somebody tell them that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, man.
It's truly a pleasure. Truly a pleasure. One of the things that I like to do on the Close the Deal Show is allow the viewers to be able to see, what it takes, to become an entrepreneur, but what it requires for someone to be able to do. And seeing the work that you have put in and putting together 8 shows. So if you don't know about Good News Radio, go to www.goodnewsradio.com and check it out, because this show on the internet is sky rising, and there are multiple shows that you can look into. But Keith, my first question to you is, how did Good News Radio come about?
I was doing some stuff out of my house for a while, and then I was trying to be a radio personality. I figured that's what I could do for 4 hours a day and make a lot of money.
Okay.
That was the idea. But I guess, I was actually broadcasting out of my house. Then I started broadcasting with another independent station called The Social Hour. Really taught me a lot. Really taught me the motto of how to be an independent radio entity. His format was music, which the Good News radio station is talk and podcast. However, I was able to see kind of just how it works. So I was doing it once a week, and I saw everybody else was doing it once a week. And I said, man, once a week is not going to get it. I need more opportunity than once a week. It's going to take too long, and I'm impatient. So I said, the only way to, nobody's going to give me an opportunity, so I got to create one for myself. So I decided, hey, I was going to go home and figure out how to build a studio at home. And the name itself, I was at the Social Hour and I met a guy, and his name was Bad News, and he introduced himself. There's a lot of music, a lot of rappers, so people had the hardcore names. It's all good. I was like, damn, why do you want to make, why? Like, I want to give somebody the opposite feeling.
Correct.
When my name comes up, so I'm just going to start going by Good News. Keep Good News. And then it came to be that show that I was going to start at the house while I still been the Social Hour, the Good News Radio Show.
Okay.
I was Good News. Let's keep Good News. And I just figured it just rolls off the tongue well, and people associate it with good feelings. So I figured it was a good name.
So tell me, what were the first 3 business strategies that you had to develop to formulate Good News Radio to get it to where it's at right now?
Luckily enough, I had the opportunity prior to my radio career to actually have another business. I was in the business of network marketing. Most people call it multi-level marketing, direct marketing, direct sales, however you want to call it. Had some success in that business, had a lot of failures, and which actually sent me through my deepest depression. And actually, I wanted to talk about them and the things that I've learned. So that's what actually led me to start looking into radio, because of the hardships, and the successes I've had with my previous business. So I would say the number one thing that I did learn was to be consistent. I think that's where people fell off. People think they can take breaks, and then that's not true, because you can't stop time. So you literally can't take a break. So there's no pause button, there's no timeouts. And life is fourth quarter. You know, and there's no timeouts in this fourth quarter. You got to keep going. You got to keep playing the game. So I think that the number one thing I always keep in my mind is that today is a day that you have to use to move forward, or otherwise you lose it.
Well, you absolutely know how to bounce back quickly. That is clear.
Yeah, let's say quickly, but you do bounce back.
Absolutely.
Time is perspective, but yeah.
Because when you say there's no breaks, ideally when someone falls and you say you went into a deep depression, some people don't never recover. And in your case, you know what I'm saying, you was able to take that encouragement and empower yourself to say, you know something, I'm never going to give up.
Yeah, I think when people judge a lot of music artists, or when they say, "How are you depressed?" or people with wealth, "How are you depressed with all that money?"
Correct.
And sometimes it's about reaching the level of success you've reached at one point that actually drives you insane. Imagine trying to top your best movie, and you did your best movie early in your career.
Correct.
And now the rest of your career, you can never get to that. That is emotional situation, regardless of the finances that's attached to it. So, I got through that experience, plus being broke during that time, having a whole lot of money, then not having any money. It was just a hell of an experience, man. It taught me a lot.
Well, challenges seems, something like you can stretch them, but at some point in time they come back to where now you have to figure out a new plan. And that's what exactly sound like you did. My next question to you, Keith, is, Good News Radio. It's a feel-good type of radio show, correct?
Absolutely. It's a network.
Okay.
And I always have to, I don't get offended because I always have to correct people now because it was a show originally. For the last 12 months, it's been a complete network of a multitude of shows, and that's the direction that me as a CEO. That's when I became a CEO. I wasn't a CEO, and it was just a show. I was just a radio host.
Okay.
But then creating a platform that others could use as well and create a network behind it, that's what led me to be, a CEO, today, I guess.
Well, what is one of the strategies that you lure your viewers to tune into your shows?
I found value in getting others and building people. I found a value, and if you build the people, they'll build the business.
Okay.
And I realized that, if I invest my time, money, effort, and energy into other people's, desires, successes, or whatever the case might be, subsequently, I benefit because if they post a picture in front of the good news, that is, indirect marketing. So that was really one of my greatest strategies. I always had guests, even when I was just doing my show. I always had a guest every show.
Okay.
Because I knew while I'm promoting, so are they, and then I continue to have different people with influence. So they want to promote themselves, obviously, but to promote themselves, they have to promote me because my logo is everywhere. So that was really one of my first strategies.
That's good. Like, ideally, could you give me an example of who that particular guest may have been, or where you may have been at? Was it some type of functioning that you sponsored? Because I see the Good News Radio jacket,
I wear
and the shirt.
That's all I wear. I don't wear anything else.
Okay.
See, because you have on Polo right now.
Actually.
And you paid to advertise for them.
Man, and I'm not even getting paid by them.
No, you paid to do it.
Yeah.
You purchased that shirt to advertise for them for free, which is fantastic because you appreciate the brand.
Correct.
So the fact of the matter is that I have to appreciate my own brand more than I appreciate any other brand. And that type of mentality. And once again, that was also adopted from my former business, realizing that I'm a walking billboard.
Correct. That's one of the things that I learned. A good friend of mine, Remco, a mentor of mine, he had explained to me that the same concept you explained on how he gave me an example on when he did the show dealing with marketing. He mentioned the fact that a lot of companies, at that national chain level, always run out the mom and pop type store who's trying to compete with them. Where he explained that, if you have a bookstore, a local bookstore, and you have Barnes and Nobles nearby, he said one of the easiest ways for you to generate traffic in the business is to create a reading session for the kids to be able to sit in there and get read books. So ideally, you know, if a parent brings their kid there to sit there, at some point in time, over an hour or so, they're going to end up buying a book to take home with them.
Absolutely.
And to draw in more traffic, because people are going to wonder, why are so many kids sitting up in here having a session? So more people that live in the neighborhood is likely to have a reading session in that particular mom and pop bookstore than they would be in Barnes and Noble.
I mean, I think that marketing and self-advertisement is understanding the human mind form in itself. You know, willpower. I read this book called Willpower, which talks about how to literally break down a human being, and really how yourself breaks down. You know, it's only so many times you can say no to something before you say yes. That's just how we operate as humans, you know.
Correct.
Or so many times you can see something without getting curious about it. That's all advertising and marketing is. You see the commercial enough times, you know, you're eventually going to try it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's Inception. That's literally what it
Truly.
is. It's Inception.
Truly it is.
Yeah.
How many shows do you have on Good News Radio?
We have currently, I have to count, I believe it's 9 now.
Okay.
We just got one of our shows back. She went to New York and did this whole, she went to Asia and she went through this whole transformation, which was great. And she's came back with some great aspects. But we have 7 in-studio shows.
Okay.
And they are all broadcasted live. You download the app that you can chat with those shows live.
Okay.
You can call into the station live. And once their show ends, it gets podcasts on our app too, so you can go back and listen later if you so choose to.
Oh, okay.
We also syndicate 2 shows from out of state. One's in Pittsburgh, called Straight to the League, which we just flew back in last week. From that trip, we went out there. We did a live broadcast with live audience. We broadcasted live through the network. It was incredible. We also have a show in Milwaukee, a show called Brunch with Besties. It's a podcast that we was also in Milwaukee a few months ago, and we did something similar.
So what is one of the most popular shows on Good News Radio?
Man, it's hard to say, man. I would say right now who's leading the way based on kind of how they've been doing it. There's a show called Members Only Discussions.
Okay.
They're a review show. So they review food, music, TV shows, movies. It's a review show, and it's a very interesting dynamic. They're loud. So that helps.
Okay.
But I think that their show is just great because of how unique it is. It's reviews. That's one of the shows that gets a lot of listens, and the way that they funnel a lot of their listeners through the network, which makes it pretty fantastic. Another very popular show is a show called Never Not Extra.
Okay.
It's with 3 girls, and if you love girl talk, and statistics show 80% that people who listen to podcasts are female.
Okay.
So there you have that. You know, it's grabbing the market that's available. And then one of my personal favorites is The Get Right on Sunday morning. It's a dynamic where it's 2 gay guys and a straight guy, and you never see that dynamic on the radio.
Correct.
Ever. You know, usually the gay guy, the gay person is the outlier, the token of the group. So I just think it's a fantastic show, man. They're so entertaining. And it's one of my personal favorites. But all the shows are fantastic. We don't sign bad shows.
Okay.
That's
Definitely.
why we don't sign. And no, you can't just get on the Good News.
Okay.
We have applications all the time, and we have interview processes, and we deny people. We accept the people that we have accepted. And that's what makes the network so different. It's exclusive. It's not like iTunes or SoundCloud where you got 580,000. This is a real number. 580,000 different active podcasts on those platforms. I mean, good luck. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, find a good quality show to listen to that you prefer.
So what is your age bracket and gender base of viewers of the Good News Radio?
Mainly millennial. That's where we started from. I'm
Okay.
a millennial. I'm 29. I'll be 30 in a few months.
Okay.
That's the generation that I associate with. I'm familiar with. I know how to market to. However, the age demographic has been picking up tremendously, which I'm very interested to be over 38. And that was pretty interesting to me to see our numbers go up for the people that's over 38. And I think it's because people just want to listen to conversation now, man. Good conversation.
Yeah.
And older
truly.
people want to know what young people are up to. So it really bridges the gap right then and there. And for people to be able to communicate live, you know, it's unlike any other podcast platform that exists.
Yeah, because you hear that a lot in relationships. Women
Yeah.
are already complaining men don't know how to talk.
Absolutely.
They don't know how to listen.
Mhm.
You know, we got to both reciprocate the same thing in order for us to combine with one another.
Yeah.
So what are the restrictions on your show?
On the network, so we don't play or broadcast music. We do use music for intros or examples, but you won't hear music being played through our network.
Okay.
We're not a music. We're a talk radio station, podcast station. That's what we're into. We're into discussions. We're into entertainment talk. We're into sports talk. Whatever talk, the discussion is important. There's a lot of music platforms that exist, so we wouldn't fill a void if we just went into music. So we want to be. Steve Jobs, one of my favorite people, and he says it's not about being better; it's about being different.
Okay.
So we just decided to go in a direction that was, in the urban community or the black community, if you want to call it that. The discussions. There was no platform for discussions. It's only platform for music.
Well, there's a big discussion going on in the White House. Don't nobody like the president.
Well, see, now where do you go
Yeah.
to hear that perspective?
Okay.
There's only one black talk radio station Kathy Hughes owns Radio 1, and she's she's untouchable.
Okay.
But if you go on Sirius XM, there's only one political black radio station. You know what I mean? That's it, and it's Urban One. That's it, and no offense, but they're also older. So where do this generation get to speak
Correct.
on that at?
The millennium.
Yeah, where
Okay.
do we get to speak on our and talk about our ideas and
Viewpoints.
our exactly our
opinions.
perspective.
Correct.
The good news is where it's at.
Okay, definitely. So, who are your type of sponsors that really see your vision in the direction it's going?
If we don't really have sponsors, and we've never really actually went out for that for a few reasons. We've had people, we have associates,
Okay.
which I like to say. We have associates and very close associates, which some of them are other radio stations.
Okay.
In which we support their vision. Or to support them in what they're doing for the community. Hub Radio is one of them. We also support a company called Wolf Wireless. They, if you look at my phone, they customize phones.
Okay.
And their business model, his business model was just fantastic. So this is a free plug for my man's over at Wolf Wireless, man. This
Nice.
is not a case. This is my phone.
Nice.
And he does a lot of celebrities. He's endorsed us many times. Along with a bunch of other people, man. But usually we have associates. Sometimes when you get sponsors and stuff, you start laying in bed with people, and then
Correct.
they start kind of having a say-so, and you got to respect it because
They're sponsoring.
they're putting money into
Correct.
what you're doing, and it kind of just taints the whole pot. So if someone comes in with some ideas and they want to be an associate of ours, that's great. But as far as that's concerned, sponsorships, it's great if it comes and it matches, then great. But we're very big at protecting our culture.
Truly, that is something. I got a couple questions before we go. At the same token, there's one thing I have to ask you, because when I created the Close the Deal show, in actuality, it came about from a business failure and my original idea in starting a business.
Welcome to the club.
So if you could, figure out in your mind right now, if there was something that you could have done better with starting off creating the Good News Radio, what would it be?
I don't think I could do anything better.
Okay.
I think that better is it takes you away from moving forward. Thinking about that, I don't know. I think that I did everything that I could have done with the resources I had at the time.
Okay.
I took a lot of risk, and because I think about what I can do better, or my mentor used to say, if you believe you couldn't fail, like what would you do? And should always act on that accord. Or if you were bolder, if you were more confident, what would you do right now? If you were bolder, would you go talk to that CEO? If you were bolder, would you go talk to that person? And if you was bolder, then why not make that action anyways? Even if you're not. So, I don't think. Something I did do, I realized everybody was doing doing once a week, so I did twice a week, just because I knew it would cut down the time of experience, so I can do what in 1 year what it takes people 2 years to do, and I knew that time is of the essence, so I just take advantage of that. I don't think there's anything I could have necessarily done better. No, I don't know, man. That's a hard one. That's a hard question.
Yes, it truly is. It's because me, myself, in my own experience, it was like making better connections, doing more research, not just jumping out there thinking because I have an idea, I can actually make some money.
I guess my philosophy follows different.
Yeah.
And it serves me wrong. I'm no guru.
I'm not either.
I'm wrong
still
often.
starting off.
I'm wrong often.
Okay.
But when I'm right,
Yeah.
it pays dividends. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So I'll take my chances.
Okay.
And I'm a big person of just stop thinking about all the preparation. Just get out there. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing that's going to prepare you. There's no amount of research, and sometimes research limits you. It puts you in a box, and then you
Okay.
can't come at it with a different idea, perspective. I think that if I would have done too much research, I might have been discouraged from doing some things because the research would have said otherwise, or the statistics would have showed that it's not really going to work out this way, or kind of you try to pick the lane that's already been paved out, but I have more fun paving out my own. So and fun is a big part of it. You gotta have fun. You
Okay.
gotta have a good time. So part of not knowing what's gonna happen keeps the endorphins rolling and the
Correct.
excitement, the unknown. Seek the darkness. Go in there. Just the absence of light
Okay.
until you light it up. And then
Truly.
and then you keep going and you keep lighting more parts of the darkness up. It just makes it exciting, man. I think
Absolutely.
that's
So
part
the
of
whole
driving
room
force.
could be lit up.
Go
Definitely,
ahead, man.
definitely. So, how could the viewers in San Francisco and beyond
Mhm.
tune in to the Good News Radio? Where do they look you up at? How can they stay connected with Good News Radio?
My personal preference is downloading the app, the Good News radio station. Go to any app store. You can download it right there. You'll see it. It'll probably pop up way before you type all that in. But type it in, download the app so you can stay connected and you can stay interactive with what's going on the network, and mainly the live shows. We have special shows, remote locations. And we've done remote locations many times where we've been on the street of Melrose and Fairfax, broadcasting live on the corner,
Okay.
And we have a lot of live audience shows where people come, or fans, and they come and watch us live, watch some of the shows live. So download the app, the Good News radio station. You can chat on there with any of the shows live, call into the station. If you don't like something they said, let them know.
Okay.
Argue with them. Let them
Okay.
know this is a platform for us to all be on, and they're very interactive with the fans and listeners, and Instagram. Instagram has been wonders.
Okay.
It's the best medium to contact us. Somebody from the team will contact you back. So that's the two best mediums I would recommend. Of course, go to the online, thegoodnewsradiostation.com.
Okay.
But more importantly, download the app.
And make sure you get a Good News Radio T-shirt. How can you get
Yeah,
that
man.
in the jacket?
Man, just hit us up, man, and on DM. We have stuff in stock, but it goes fast a lot of times because a lot of people want it. We ship stuff to different places. So let us know, and then, worst come to worst, we'll do a pre-order if we don't have it in stock. But you will get your stuff. We just rebranded everything, which I'm really, really excited to release. So y'all be seeing that very, very soon. It's a new logo. It's a whole new website that we have not released yet, and working on redefining the app. So I'm just happy to now get to this point where it's like time to let's go to the next level. Let's make what's gonna be the new look of the station. So it's all evolution, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have one last question
Mhm.
for you, Key. How is Good News Radio providing some type of source other than its feel good to the community? What role is Good News playing in giving back to the community?
The community is that's very interesting. I guess it depends on what community we're talking about. Are we talking about the city itself?
In general.
I think more importantly is it serves as a new platform, and I think that's what the purpose is. Can you come here and have good conversation? When you're in a car,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want to listen to? You can listen to music. You can listen to the same 7 songs on rotation.
Yeah.
Or you can listen to talk radio. I mean, you can listen to whatever you want to. We want that preferred listenership to be the good news, because you know that you're going to get something that fills you, some of your interest. And, more or less entertaining, but just a platform where you feel like you can come get some good news, man.
Okay,
With all that's
definitely.
going on in the world.
Definitely. So do y'all sponsor youth programs or anything of that nature? Are y'all active in that type of manner in
Yeah.
regards to the community?
Oh,
That's what I was
definitely.
referring to.
Okay, we throw events all the time. We allow
okay,
people to
definitely.
come to. Some are private, some are public. I've spoken at a lot of schools.
Okay, so do you have any
through
up and
events.
coming events transpiring soon?
We are in the process of planning our annual. This is our first. We've been in business for 1 year officially.
Okay.
As a station, so we're planning our 1 year anniversary something. We still putting this together.
Well, the good the Good
Yeah.
News Radio allowed the Close the Deal show to be a part of that.
Hey, well, I appreciate
you know,
it, man. Thank
because
you so much.
we would love to sponsor y'all water.
Yeah. Oh, well, hey, let's do it.
We would definitely love
Yeah.
to sponsor y'all water.
I like how you said
Absolutely.
that. You told me exactly what it's going to be. Not to think of something. That's how you do business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Keith, it's been truly more than a pleasure.
Thank you,
know,
man. Thank
and
you.
I look forward to being involved
Yeah.
and connected with the Good News Radio for a lifetime.
All right, well, that sounds good to me, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you for
so
coming
much,
on the
man.
show.
Thank you. Thank y'all for watching.
All right.